Hello dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's continue analyzing, studying games of Mikhail Tal, unbeaten streak of Mikhail Tal. Let's go. Yes, already we checked 47 games and let's continue 48. Tal is playing Chess Olympiad, Nice 1974, and he's playing for Soviet Union. And in this game against Sweden, over Ginmark. Tal is having white pieces. Let's go. F3. That we have knight F3, knight F6. I should also C4 E6, knight C3 D5, D4 bishop E7, bishop G5, short castle E3. Even nowadays, this line is quite trendy. Knight BD7. Some players start with H6. Let's say bishop F6, rook C1, and in Karpov-Kasparov match they would play, I guess, C6, bishop D3, knight D7, short castle D takes C, bishop takes C4, E5. But nowadays, if I'm not mistaken, this is the strongest. Or even you start with these. Yes, whenever H4 with the idea G4, G5, you go G6, G4, bishop G7. And here you can even take, and you go knight D7 with the idea to play C5. As I know, also this line is possible, like here and knight D7. But of course, white always has bishop H4 option. Knight BD7. Tal went rook C1, C6. D takes C, C5, or H6, C5, or C5. But why not C5? Why engine doesn't show? C takes D, knight D5, bishop E7, knight D7. Okay, C6, bishop D3, D takes C, bishop takes C4, H6, bishop H4. And bishop F4, knight D5, short castle, knight F4, he takes F, but bishop F4 engine is showing B5 even. This, knight D5, bishop E7, queen E7, bishop G3, knight takes C3, we take C, and here C5. Another move is B5, bishop D3, A6, or you can even start with A6, bishop D3, B5. Even you can do B6, short castle, bishop B7. Yes, I don't think queen A5. Yes, queen A5 doesn't make any sense. Just short castle B5. Even bishop B3, bishop D3, queen A2. C5 was played. Not the strongest. Short castle. Yes, and now white is already better. Because whenever you go A6 with the ideas B5, white plays A4. And knight B6, bishop D3. So queen A5. Nowadays, no one plays similar ideas. C5, queen A5. Bishop D3, queen E2. Tal went queen E2. Here we see some knight E5, also very decent move. Knight E5, bishop takes E5. Knight F6, queen F3. queen e2, e6, and here we see d5. Knight b6, d takes c, e takes d, bishop d5, b5, bishop b3. Yes, b5 maybe, do I have d takes e, or it's just fine for you? D takes c, b takes c, takes d, bishop d7, knight d5, bishop b5. Yes, bishop b3 takes, bishop d5, rook a7. So takes, knight f6, c4, knight takes d5, c takes d, bishop d7, and rook f d1, bishop a4, rook e1, uh, rook a d8, decent move. Another option was rook a c8, e4, bishop b5, queen c2, c4, bishop e5, bishop b4, rook e3, rook e8, yes, h3, queen b2, and here f6. Yes, let's say f6, bishop c7, queen b4, and something like f5. Bishop f8, and here Tal had knight h4. He played bishop c3. Yes, very decent move. Queen c7, rook b1. So this, queen d2. Queen doesn't do much on a4. And just one more question. Yes, knight h4, bishop a3 ideas are not there. And now bishop a3 might be an idea. Rook b1, b5, a3. Yes, engine likes more pushing d6, e5, restricting bishop on f8. Bishop a3 was working. Bishop c5, knight d4. What other moves for example, this, queen d4. Yes, if you go bishop f8, then rook a1 and knight e1. So f6, rook a1, rook c8, e5. And here b4, yes, this queen d2. Bishop e3, f takes c. Bishop d6, possible move. This, knight d4, bishop d6, knight d2, and here a5 would have been strong. Bishop g4, f3, bishop d7, bishop b4, knight f4, rook takes a3, takes c. Yeah, rook b4, a takes b, rook g3 was played with the ideas queen h6, king h7, a takes b, king h1. Yes, white is much better but not winning, because earlier, yes, even knight takes c3, bishop c3, bishop c3. And why? What if rook takes c4? I guess rook. Yes, let's say takes, and if takes, rook g3. Yes, here we see queen c3, rook c8, bishop c3, knight c3, queen c4, or queen a3. Yes, rook b4, queen d4, knight f3. Yes. Yes, we can see that someone, I don't think Tal, um, annotated this game, and we can see this option of rook takes b4. Like this, king h7. Yes, b takes 8, queen h6, of course, game over. g6, rook f1, or even e6 doesn't work, bishop e6. Yes, here again we see white is winning in the end, but rook e6 just. So this, a takes b, queen a7, here queen e3, king h1, this, knight c3, and this is already not winning. h3, rook b2, and now black does have f5, and even queen b6, black is fine. 5, bishop takes f5. Yes, if rook takes b4, rook e7, I assume. Yes. Bishop f5, 7, bishop d7, knight e4, rook f4, d6, bishop f5, d4. Yes, already black is slightly better. Yes, as we could expect, over King Mark didn't really try for something more than a draw. Yes, Tal played quite well, and he was throughout the game better, much better, close to winning, and maybe even winning. But at some point, already, yeah, this is already not winning. This is just better, and he started making some small inaccuracies, but I'm not sure even here. For example, he played h3 and now d6. Would you go d6? But I'm not sure that d6 even secures anything significant for white. Just queen b6, and this position is not bad for black at all. Yes. Queen c7 was there, queen f7, rook g5, but even the way overplayed. Yes, only plus 0.2. Just here, rook b1, rook d1, rook f1. Tal really wanted to win this game because even later on he got unpleasant position. He took enough risks. Yes, for example, this is already unpleasant. G5 and minus 0.5. Okay, let's move another game. Tal is having white pieces. Soviet Union plays Romania and Bartosz Charles. 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 I apologize if I'm not the right way. Or c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e3. Yes, knight g4, another dubious line. Nowadays no one plays this. This, e5, queen d2, short castle, bishop d3. d6, short castle, bishop e6, rook c1, rook c8, b3, a6, f3. As whenever rook fd1, then bishop g4 comes, rook fd1, and f5. It takes f, oops. G takes f would have been better. Knight takes f5. But for example, we do see that, yes, G takes f, bishop f1. And white is much better. Actually, yes, white is better, but I wouldn't say much better. Knight f5, and here bishop f5. I guess if g takes f, then queen d6, and if you take top plate, bishop e2, bishop e4. Yes, here we see that bishop f5. G takes f, you just take queen d6, and if rook c6, queen e7. And what if bishop f5, you just go, you don't take. You can, but you also can play just queen e2. Yes, now knight d4 works. Not really bishop h6 because of bishop f5 tactical idea. Yes, definitely g takes f would have been better. And rook f7, queen e2, with the idea bishop f5, rook d6. If you take bishop f5, bishop f5, queen d6, which is also working, bishop b6 in the end. Queen e2, no bishop f8 was played. Yes, knight d4 would have been the strongest. And what do we see? Bishop takes d4, it takes d. Yes, bishop b7 does not really work. Bishop g6 does not really work. Bishop d5, bishop d5, knight d5, and this is, according to Tal, this is much better. Yes, it is better, but not much. So it was bishop f8 and bishop f2, and b5 was played. If bishop h6, rook c2 is coming, it's b5, knight d5, b takes c. Yes, b takes c, rook c4, knight b6 was played. Yes, if rook e8, bishop c6 is coming. Here bishop d5, rook takes d5, rook takes c4, with the idea queen d1, rook e4, and queen d2. Very classy move, knight d5, knight d5, bishop h6, queen h6, queen a2, otherwise rook a4 comes, and bishop h4. Yes, if queen b3, then knight f6. King h8, knight h7. Yes, queen a5 was played, h3, and black resigned. Yes, very, very good game, and especially this part, starting from here, not rook fd1 because of bishop g4, f3, rook fd1, e takes f, g takes f, bishop f1, this, and you have this bishop f5, but he goes this, and he plays queen e2, and bishop f2. Yes, he doesn't play bishop f2 here because of bishop h6, I assume. Yes, of course. And now b5, opponent tries to get some counterplay, c takes b, rook c3, I guess. And he goes knight d5, some concrete ideas, and not knight c4 or bishop d5, another classy move. and now rook takes d5, and now rook takes c4, and knight e7. He doesn't play something else, just leaving the rook on d5, and whenever you take, just takes. That queen is almost trapped on a3. Okay, another game, very short game. Hungary, Soviet Union, Istvan Song, Tal Mikhail, this, c4, e6, g3, d5, bishop g2, d takes. Yes, nowadays d takes a very popular move, queen a4, if I'm not mistaken. Knight a3 was played, and here bishop a3, but Tal played something else. So bishop takes a3, and what do we see? B takes a b5. If you go this, yes, knight c6 is possible, or even this. As we see, Azmai Parashvili, Lavron. Okay, c5, not the strongest move. Takes knight c6, short castle, bishop e7. And now I would really like to play b3 and then bishop b2. So d3, short castle, a3. Yes, here b5 doesn't work because of some knight e5 ideas. Not knight c5 because I guess bishop b7 is there. So knight d5, bishop d2, and now just a5. b6. b5 is also fine. b6 is also fine. Yes, I don't like all these rook b1, bishop d2, a3, and queen b3. Yes, and here most likely Tal offer the draw, and Istvan Ksom, who was 25-40, very decent player. I didn't know, honestly. I heard Istvan Ksom name, but I didn't know that he had 25-40. And another round, another game, Spain, Soviet Union, Sanz, Alonso, Francisco, Javier against Tal, 23-20, and d4, e takes d, knight takes d4, bishop b4, and here g3 is very interesting move. And if I'm not mistaken, after g3, bishop c3, b takes c, knight a5 is the best. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, and now bishop takes c3, b takes c, short castle, e3, knight e5. This is very standard idea. Knight goes g6, and if bishop f6, queen f6, and if bishop g3, knight e4 is coming, it's queen c2 or f3, knight g6, bishop f2, bishop e2, knight g6, bishop takes, otherwise knight e4 was there, short castle, d6, rook b1, queen e7, bishop d3, c5, and here engine doesn't like c5 at all, like b6, rook e8, because here knight f5, bishop f5, bishop f5, and white is slightly better. So knight e2 was played, b6, yes, knight g3. For example, if you take and then knight f4, bishop b7 comes, and knight g6, there is queen e4. If you try something like this, takes bishop b7, so knight g3, bishop b7, queen h5, queen e6, rook d1, rook d8, rook e1, knight e5, e4. Yes, here knight takes d3, queen c4, engine likes, queen f6 is another. The engine doesn't like it much, bishop a6. Yes, f4, takes, bishop c4, knight f5 was played. And here bishop c4, knight c4, so g6. Yes. Queen h4, and white is already much better. So if you take, I just take and you are getting checkmated. So knight h6, king g7, queen g5, yes, queen h4, rook h8, f4, this, f6, knight f5, queen f5, this, rook h8, takes, and Sans Alonso resigned. Yes, I think here, yes, queen h4 was very good chance for white. Okay, and we do have Naranja 23 95 Philippines against Soviet Union. Tal is having black pieces. This, knight f3, this, and he takes c. Yes, previous game against Istvan Psom, it was knight. Maybe I'm pronouncing, maybe it's Som. It's not Ksom, it's Som. Yes, knight a3, it was played c5, knight takes c4. So queen a4, knight b7, short castle a6. And here, yes, b5, just b5, bishop b7, Tal goes c5, d4, b5, queen d3, bishop b7, and black already doesn't have any problems. c4, bishop b7, and black is already better. Yes, preparing e4, but bishop e4, queen d5, takes e5, queen e6, bishop d6, black is much better. Yes, and somehow this rook e6, e takes f, e takes f, e takes f, rook takes f, rook f3, rook e6. And what if e takes f, e takes f? That's just h5. And now white is even better. Queen a2, trying to enter along a file. Rook g6, and bishop d2, queen a7 would have been better. Yes, because all kind of sacrifices like knight g3, I will just take h takes g, rook g3, knight g2. Yes, you don't have any sacrifices on f4. And why do I go bishop d2? b4. Yes, knight c4, there is knight g3. Yes, even bishop c3 is fine. And queen a5, attacking the pawn on f5. And again, white is better. Yes, and in this very complicated position, queen b5 is the only move. Rook b4, queen a5, which is not very easy to see, but queen c8 and bishop b4, this is already lost. I think the main problem is being that along h3, c8 diagonal, white is pinned, and it's not that easy to unpin yourself. And just takes, and takes knight g3. This, and takes, and takes. I wouldn't say Dal played something impressive. Of course, I liked start of the game, e5, very nicely played, but let's say here evaluation is minus 1.5, and yes, now we see that white is already better, and we see that white after queen a7 is close to have something significant. And even here, yes, queen a5, if white would find this queen a5. Yes, nowadays against 26, 2700 players, it is very hard after getting unpleasant position or -1 or +1 to come back, to get your chances. Usually, when it's +1 or -1, you may have one or two uh, very very hard uh, chances to stay in the game, which usually only engines can see. But here we see that Dal gave so many chances. Okay, another game, Argentina, no, Parma against Tal, Yugoslavia against Soviet Union, 25-10. Of course, Parma very strong player, and of course, if I'm not mistaken, later on, Parma moved to Argentina. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me. No. Slovenian chess player. No, actually, I'm wrong. Oh, I was wrong. I apologize. Wait. Yeah, Bruno Parma. Very much apologize. Knight f3, knight c6, d4 takes, e6, knight c3, d6, bishop e3, bishop e7, bishop e2, knight f6, short castle f4, e5, yes, f takes c, d takes c, knight c6, b takes c, queen d8, rook d8, rook f d1, rook d1, rook d1, bishop e6. Yes, not much fight. Let's not forget that this position Tal already had few times. And we do have Scotland, Soviet Union. Yes. d4, c6, d4, d5, knight c3, d takes, knight d4, knight f6, knight f6, g takes f. Wow. Engines doesn't like knight f3, bishop e3, bishop c4, and queen c7. And already we see the evaluation 2.6. Queen h5, e6, knight e2, knight a6, short castle, bishop f4. Yes, 2270 rated player. I'll definitely wanted to get a game. Yeah, but long castle. Long castle. Short castle, bishop d7, c4, bishop g3, queen g5, knight a6, threatening some knight e4, f5, bishop c4, threatening bishop a6, bishop f4, knight b5, knight e6, takes, long castle, c5. Tal didn't see, very unpleasant position. Yes, rook d3, bishop e5. And now black doesn't have much problems. Round equal position. Yes, rook b6 was there. Yes. I think Dao did everything to lose this game. And opponent had so many chances. But of course his opponent was afraid of Dao, afraid of Dao's figure. And yes, slowly Dal managed to equalize the game. Yes, nowadays, not only 2270 rated players, much lower rated players also will punish if they will get +2, +3 evaluation. But you never know, maybe they already secured Olympic gold medal and they had very good time previous evening, and you never know. And we see Soviet Union, Jordan. If I'm not mistaken, that's the way to pronounce. It's playing maybe even unrated player. At least here we don't see information. H3, and now we can see that bishop b7, c3, d5. Knight a5, c5, queen c7. Yes, we know that what's the move here? Yes, we know c takes d, c takes d, knight c6, knight b3, knight b4. Was this, knight e3. Black was attacking bishop on c2. After c takes, white is protecting. D takes c, knight d5, knight takes d5, b takes d, bishop f6, knight g5, not the strongest move. A4 would have been better. Knight c4, a takes, rook a6. Takes, queen d6. Knight c4 was possible also. b3, stopping knight c4 ideas. Page 4, e4, knight c6, knight e7, and now black doesn't have any problems. f3, bishop e7, rook e7, rook a7, then e4. Yes, I don't see that. Yes, they. Oh, actually, they recommend for this queen e3 and e4. Yes, e4 would have been queen c5 and queen f6. Yes, queen takes d5, bishop takes f5. Attacking the pawn on e5. Yes, g4 finishes the game. Yes, this is completely lost. Yes, now rook a6. And rook a6. Yes, again we see nothing impressive. Yes, from the opening, Tal got better position, even maybe much better position, and then starting from knight g5. Yes, this is already playable position, and black simply doesn't have any problems. Yes, e4 you completely restrict this bishop on c2. Yes, but here e4 and queen d5, bishop f5. It's very simple mistake by Hammam. Yes, we do have some other games. Bert, Enrique, Tal Mikhail, Go Soviet Union, f4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, d5, 4, d6, c5, c takes d. Yes, we do see that if d takes c, queen a5, bishop g4 was played. Someone is saying queen a5, which is probably not really working. b4, c takes b, queen before bishop d2. Knight c3, bishop e2, queen b6, knight c6 or bishop f3 would have been better. Yes, knight c3, bishop f3, g takes 7. Yes, we do see this. Yes, possible move, and knight c3. If knight c6, then knight a4 even, not really knight d5. Then this, bishop f3 or g takes 7. And just moving the queen e2. Yes, bishop takes f3, bishop f3, knight c6, takes f takes c, knight g4, knight g4, d takes c, rook b8, knight g4, knight g4, queen b3. And Enrique found it. e6, rook d1, bishop g5, rook d1. Takes, queen takes c5. And this is completely lost. No doubts. Yes, not much to say. F4 and um, in 1974, yes, player from Puerto Rico. Yes, I don't think uh, Tal was really his approach serious for this game. And from the start, opponent made some inaccuracies. But later on, if he would play rook d1, just not bishop g5, uh, still white's position wasn't that bad. And we see Brazil against Soviet Union, 23-65. Yes, this, and knight b3. Instead of going f4, knight b3, a6, a4, and b6, bishop b7, knight b4. Yes, queen c7, or even knight a5. Yes, a5. I don't like much. Rook f2. Yes, just rook c8. d5. Again, e takes f is there. Rook e8 is there. Takes d. Knight takes. Knight takes. Knight takes. Bishop c5. Bishop e7. And d4. Queen c5. Rook e1. Yeah, some small problems. Rook c4. Knight c5. Takes. Yes, not really rook c8 because of knight a5. And here players agreed in a draw. Yes, again, this was Chess Olympiad. You probably can imagine back then in 1974 how strong Soviet Union team was. Where uh, yes, let's just check. 74 Chess Olympiad. Hmm. Yes, look at this. 29 points, 21, 21, 20, 19, yes. Scotland, Poland, Brazil, Mongolia, Puerto Rico. Ah, this is the first group. Okay. Olympiad tournament, as well as several other events designed for not a game to replace. June 6th and June 30th. Yes, Nice, France. Both were still the world champion, but had not played a single game of tournament chess since he won the title and was not, well, the American team still managed to secure third place. Yes, the same reason for the second team in a row. Team was not led by the current world champion. Three previous. Stahl, Petrosian, and Spassky, one future champion. Karpov. Team won biggest victory margin yet and took home their 12th consecutive gold medals, with Yugoslavia and the United States taking the silver and bronze. Complete lack of tension in the tournament race. The tournament had more than political tension. Final B, Tunisian team refused to play Israel. Oh, even back then. So Tunisian team refused to play Israel. Okay, so win for the Israeli team. What is this? South Africans expelled rounds to go. The South African team withdrew from the tournament and their final C results were deleted from the overall standings. Fred and Max they failed to have from the Olympia. They were allowed to finish the tournament and one final E with help. The total of 7 teams were divided into 8 groups of 9 or 10 teams each, from which the top 2 advanced to final A to 8 groups of 9 or 10 team each, which the top 2 advanced to final A, final B, were carried over the finals, so no team met the other team more than once. Yes, Group 1, Group 2, Denmark, Yugoslavia, Finland, Cuba, Italy, Hungary, Spain, Belgium, Tunisia. Only 2 players from the team arrived in Nice, and after the team were forced to first match against from the tournament. Wow. And we see West Germany, Sweden, Iceland, Portugal, South Africa, Czechoslovakia, Romania, Norway, Colombia, Bulgaria, Philippines, Netherlands, Argentina. Finals. As we see Karpov, Korchnoi, Spassky, Petrosian, Tal Kuzmi. 46 points. Grigorich, Lubojevic, Ivkov, Velimirovic, Parma. Kavalek, Bjorn, Brown, Rashevsky, Lombardi, Tarjan, Radulov, Padevsky, Dringov, Popov, Spasov, Kirov. Timan, Donner, Sosonko, Portish, Pilek, Ribley, Forintosh, Schmidt, Unziker. Yes, I don't know them. Georgiou, Bartosz, Hortiansa, Liberzon. Yes. Iraq and Algeria refused to play because of political reasons. Anatoly Karpov, 12 points, board 1 out of 14. Board 2, Andreas Buchstein, 10 points out of 12. Third board, Boris Spassky, 11 out of 15. Tigran Petrosian, 12 and a half out of 14. First reserve, Mikhail Tal, 11.5 out of 15. Yes. Yes, some interesting information. Thank you very much, dear friends, for watching this video, for being with me. I appreciate. And today we checked another 8, 9 games from chess Olympiad, Nice, 1974 by Mikhail Tal. Thank you.